Welcome to our short video showcasing how the RiskView Service Assurance and Business Continuity module adds value in a telecommunications service provider environment by providing analytics that enhance your customer's experience and improve your operational efficiencies. RiskView identifies concentrations of risk and automatically determines how your service vulnerabilities and risks map together. By analyzing outage events and the metrics associated with them, RiskView can quickly isolate specific drivers of material service issues, those issues that matter to your customers and your overall business. In this example, we're going to show how RiskView accomplishes these by helping you to quickly identify patterns of system-wide risks that are impacting your service delivery infrastructure. As you'll see, the goal of RiskView is to help you reduce costs by reducing call volume, truck rolls, and service calls, and to help you improve your customer's experience by mining your data from ticketing, call center, and billing systems to identify customer impacting issues that fly below your radar, all of which helps you prioritize preventative maintenance. Here's the RiskView radar chart. The different menu tabs across the top are like a Rubik's Cube. There are many ways to view it, twist it, and turn it, enabling you to mine the same risk data from a different point of view. And RiskView enables you to customize your own data views and tabs. This service provider has tailored RiskView to its network and its overall business by configuring these views of its product, its equipment, the geographic location of its equipment, and so on. This is the radar chart showing risk by equipment type. We're going to show two different RiskView filters. First, the filter for reputational risk. Reputational risk is defined as a composite of total outage minutes, the number of customers affected, and the number of products affected, because nothing damages your reputation more than service outages. After that, we'll look at the same data through the financial risk filter. Financial risk is defined as the actual cost of outages, large and small, to your business's bottom line. First, reputational. The risks are the outliers, or the ones farthest from the center of the circle. By drilling down on the outlier, we can learn more about this type of equipment, which happens to be causing the greatest reputational risk to the business. Remember, we defined reputational risk as outage minutes. These fields show the cause detail around the outages. This service provider ranked the fields according to outage costs, with the biggest cost listed at the top. Outage cost is the reputational risk of each outage type based on its impact to customers. In the count column, RiskView enables you to see how many times each cause code has reoccurred. RiskView enables you to correlate seemingly insignificant events around the few devices that are causing the most pain. Note that the cause codes that occurred the most times are not necessarily causing the most pain. Though there are fewer instances of this cause code, it's doing the most reputational damage. NTF is this service provider's code for no trouble found, but because of the recurring NTFs on this list of causes that represent reputational risks, we can quickly deduce that there must be trouble with the equipment after all. The service provider discovered that it was spending money on truck rolls and maintenance to repair equipment that was not actually getting repaired. So we learned what type of equipment is causing reputational pain and what is causing the equipment to create pain. Now let's use the financial risk filter to look at the same equipment vector. Remember our Rubik's Cube analogy? Looking at financial risk brings up a different outlier on the equipment radar chart. This equipment vector is costing our service provider the most money. Let's find out why. By drilling down on the outlier, we can learn about the node that is driving these costs and costing the most money. By drilling on this outlier, we can see the concentration of greatest financial risk, again ranked by outage costs, with the worst offenders, the most material risks, up at the top. The greatest financial risk correlates directly with the occurrences of these costly events. Interestingly, these events contain a high volume of service calls. Calls regarding these equipment codes are costing the service provider the most time and money, so it's clear that a combination of phone calls and network events constitute the greatest financial risk. By drilling down on the count, we can obtain more granularity on the source of the problems. This shows the breakdown of each call and the call's duration. When we rank these by outage cost, we can identify the cause detail for the calls that represent the greatest financial risk. While the reputational risk was causing the most pain to customers, this risk is costing the most money, the most material financial risk. To summarize, we have shown how RiskView can be used to break down and correlate silos of information. It helped us determine which chronically failing node was driving the highest cost to the service provider's business, but also that the cost was related to a high volume of calls. These costs were previously under the radar. First, when we looked at reputational risk by equipment type, we quickly isolated the equipment that caused the most pain. We identified that a key driver of the pain was no trouble found codes that actually had trouble. In fact, as a resolution, the service provider recommended new training for just the equipment type that was generating NTFs. Next, we drilled down to determine the cause of the greatest financial risk. We discovered which node was costing the most money. Then we looked at the source ID to find the cost was primarily due to customer complaint calls, not truck rolls as the service provider had suspected. The worst node had the highest call volume and was eventually fixed. RiskView has led us to the most material risks, that is, the risks that really matter. Thank you very much for your time. For more information about RiskView risk management, please contact us at info@rev2.com.